pal. What are you drinking tonight? Good evening, barkeep. Might you have a Fuller's London Porter to quench my thirst? Looks like it's your lucky day. Last one in the rack. There you go. You don't look like you're from around here. No, sir, I am not. My name is Thomas Hobbes, and I come from a brutish time in English history, around the times of the English Civil War. The fabric of society was crumbling, and it was either kill or be killed. As a civilization, we needed to find order and justice and move out of the barbaric state of nature. You might have read one of my works, The Leviathan. The condition of humanity without order is dreadfully terrible. Oh, Mr. Hobbes, are you rambling again about peace and justice? And you haven't even taken a sip of your beer, good sir. Make that 2 porters, barkeep, please. Sorry, pal. Your overdramatic friend here got the last one. All right, I will settle for a Burton Ale. And for you laymen, that means I'll have one of your finest English IPAs. Burton Bridge Empire IPA, okay? Splendid. Well, Mr. John Locke, fancy to see you in this bustling bodega. I'm surprised you're not out corrupting the youth, encouraging them to rise up and revolt against the not-so-popular government. Oh, Mr. Hobbes, we never will quite see eye to eye, will we? Mr. Locke, let's be honest. We know that the state of nature is crazy, and that man is trying to kill man. We need laws to govern man. The state must hold the sword to enforce fairness. Covenants without the sword are but words. The state has to have the power to enforce the rules. Man embarked on an initial agreement to be subordinate to the state. You know there is no right to revolution. You forfeit your rights to the state and cannot go back. There must be a sovereign power over citizens, a single monarch or assembly of representatives. By agreeing to be governed by the sovereign, you agree to abide by his authority. You cannot even accuse the sovereign of wrongdoing. Well, Mr. Hobbes, do you prefer an assembly of representatives or a monarch to be in control? Either way, Mr. Locke, we need a unitary form of government, whether it's a monarch or an assembly, but not both. The monarch is better because the popularity is determined by the people's prosperity. The assembly is more concerned with their own wealth, not public interest. The monarch understands and can articulate and work to realize the public interest. A monarch has no interest in harming the citizens. Due to their success and the prosperity, they will stay in power. The monarch can listen to experts in the field of solving public problems, and the monarch can also maintain consistency of policy directions over time. I do not trust people to hold their civic virtue on their own, but through fear of the state. Well, Mr. Hobbes, I must oppose your idea that the monarch is the best solution. I believe that a legislative and executive branches of government with limited powers keeping each other in check is a much better form of government. The state in a civil society must have limited powers so that it does not threaten the basic rights in which it is protecting for each society member. By accepting our social contract, we understand the rule of the majority. But the majority must never act to undermine the natural rights provided to all of its citizens. Under this social contract, we must all have equal rights. Do you not agree, Mr. Hobbes? No matter what, Mr. Locke, once the social contract is put into play, citizens are subordinate to the state. It's that simple. Yes, but Mr. Hobbes, what happens when the sovereign starts to undermine the rights of the citizens in which it was set up to protect? Do the people not have the right to revolt and challenge the system in place? Absolutely not. Anything is better than the state of nature. Men exist in the state of nature in perfect freedom to do what they want. The state of nature, yes, can be chaotic, and that is why we need a system of checks and balances to ensure individual liberties and freedom. If you don't mind me asking you, Mr. Hobbes, what is the purpose of government, then? I believe it's quite simple. The purpose of government is to impose law and order to prevent the state of war. And to be honest, I think it is designed to control, and not necessarily represent. Well, Mr. Hobbes, in my opinion, the purpose of government is to secure natural rights, namely man's property and liberty. Well, I think you're both wrong. In my view, the state of nature is an environment where men are free and equal, or as I like to call them, the noble savages. Civilization itself is what corrupted him. The purpose of government is to bring people into harmony and to unite under a general will. Citizens must be active in their civic duties. Government must enforce the general will, and individual wills are subordinate to the general will of the people. And barkeep, I will take a lo fin de monde. Jean-Jacques Rousseau, I don't think anybody asked your opinion. Why don't you go across the street to the root note where you belong, hippie?